Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy C Will back to you with another video. And as you can see, we got some stuff that's on the table here. Yes, we are doing the Lian Lancool 2 case review. We are going to rebuild Knight Rider into this case, and if everything turns out the way I hope it does, this will be my permanent case for Knight Rider. So as you can see, we got a couple of items that's on the table. We have 240 millimeter NZXT static pressure fans. These actually came with the X62, so I'm actually going to be using these as intake fans on the front of the Lian case. And then we also have a couple of accessories that was released with this case. Now, one of the reasons why I like this case so much and that we're going to be rebuilding to this is because one, the actual form factor is still compact, but it has so much to offer, and only for 90 bucks. Yes, I said it. So before we get into the rest of this video, man, if this is your first time here, welcome. Here we do everything tech, all things tech. Whatever it is, we like to do it. And man, if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate you the most because you keep everything going. So don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell to receive all of my notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And let's get into this video. So the first accessory we have up is the Lian LED side diffuse strip, and man, these are pretty cool. So this is actually going to go on the side of the case, and it's going to give us some great ambient light. Next thing we have up is the actual Lian Lancool 2 vertical GPU mount. And this is a pretty cool kit. Of course, you know, this is going to actually mount the GPU, so it's vertical. Also, but it actually sits a little further back into this case, so it's not going to impede on airflow. We have the Lian 3.1 Type-C connector, and this because the case actually comes with the port, but it doesn't come with the actual accessory. And I actually like this because not all motherboards comes with the front panel on the motherboard for USB Type-C, but because this comes as a separate option, it's actually pretty cool because if you don't need it, great. If you do need it, it's only just a couple bucks. So actually, this is $11.99. The actual LED is $11.99. The kit that we have here for the vertical GPU mount is 55 bucks. And then last but not least, we have the Hot-Swappable hard drive plate. So you can actually put this in on the case. It comes with the actual hard drive slots, and you can actually be able to put this on the plate on the back of the actual the casing that holds. It could either do 3.5 inch drives or 3 2.5 inch drives. And man, you can just pull it in, pop it out. So this is gonna be pretty cool too. And this actually runs for $14.99. So these are all of the different accessories that actually came out with the case, and it made it optional to actually keep the cost of the case down. So I definitely like this. We're gonna go through, we're gonna install all the accessories. So this time around, we are also going with custom sleeve cables. These are made by Cable Mod, and they are specifically made for the Corsair power supply. So this is gonna be great. Make the case look pretty good. And then we also have the RTX 2060 Super. This is the Founders Edition. Everything I have here, I picked up from Micro Center. So if you have one in your area, definitely check them out. But except this, I actually got this from Best Buy because you can either only buy these, you could buy them on Newegg, you could get them on Amazon. They're a little overpriced, or you could get it directly from NVIDIA for the actual retail, you know, for the market price, or you can get it from Best Buy. Got this from Best Buy, $3.99, and the reason why I picked this up is because in the next video, right now we're in a weird space when it comes to GPUs. We got new GPUs that's gonna be coming out from AMD. We got new GPUs that's coming out from NVIDIA, but I think that's not gonna be until maybe around about June or the second half of 2020. So if you had to build a system right now, you had to get a GPU, I think the RTX 2060 Super is going to be your choice. It's $3.99, so it's not too expensive, but it's not cheap all at the same time, but it's going to give you high frame rate, 1080p. You'll definitely be able to get a great frame rate when it comes to 1440p. So we are definitely going to go into stuff we're going to build with that today. Hey, but the first thing we got to do, we got to tear down Knight Rider. Let's get to it. Okay, so we got the system pulled apart. Knight Rider has been disassembled. 32 gigabytes G-Skill memory, 3600 megahertz, CL16. I have a PCIe gigabyte ORS 4.0 NVMe drive, 1 terabyte. And then down here, I actually have a 970 EVO 500 gigabyte NVMe hard drive. Scratch this, boot drive, and then all my games. Well, I got a few games on my 1 terabyte, but then all the rest of my games are actually on the 2 terabyte hard drive from Seagate, which I am going to pick up a 2 terabyte NVMe drive real soon. But we just need to clean off the CPU. Okay, so we got the Lancool tool here. So a couple of things. Everything is made out of steel and glass, tempered glass, from the top to the bottom. There's only a few things that's on here that's made out of plastic, and that's amazing for 90 bucks. You got the vents right here, and this pulls down as you have magnetic tabs that are both here and here that attach here. And the way that you open up the side panels is you have to pull this down, then you can actually open up the tempered glass and it swings open. And this actually lifts up and lifts out. So this is definitely pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and sit this to the side. And as you can see here, the case comes with 3 fans. They're all 120 millimeters. So on the back, supports 120 millimeter. At the top, you could do 220 millimeters. You may be able to do, yeah, you could do 220 millimeters, or you could do 240 millimeter fans at the top, or you could do a 240 millimeter radiator, or you could do a 280 millimeter radiator. On the front, comes with 1 intake fan that's also 120 millimeters, and on the front, you can either do 320 millimeters, or you could do 2 140 millimeters. And this is your hard drive cage. And these pull out, and so we only have one 2 terabyte hard drive that we're going to be putting in, but we also have the actual hot-swappable panel that's going to go on the back, and I'll show you what the back of the case looks like in a second. But what makes this pretty cool is that this actually comes with the case, so this is like super dope. You can actually fit up to 360 millimeter radiators, and you have all different type of functions that you can be able to do with that. You can actually, when you take the screws out, this lifts up to provide more room in the front if you have the thicker radiators. So the cable management bar that we have right here actually flips. So if you have a motherboard that's ETX motherboard, that actually, the motherboard actually comes out this far, you can actually flip this around so you can be able to use that. The case is so versatile. Also, right here, you have 2 spots for, and it has grills. So when you close this, there's vents right here, and you actually put 220 millimeter fans right here, which is what we're gonna do today. And that can actually, that's gonna cool off the graphics card. So we're gonna have 2 fans right here that's gonna be pulling air from the bottom, and it's going to be cooling out the graphics card, and it's going to be pulling air from the actual side vent right here. And we're going to have a vertical kit, so we're going to remove all of these. And yeah, you have so many different options when it comes to the case. So on the front, you have the grills that air is going to be pulling through, and this actually comes apart. So when you pull these apart, as you can see here, we actually have filters, and these filters are actually different colors. And so on one side it's kind of like the silver color, on the other side is black. The silver color is used because there's RGB built in, and as you can see right here, these are the RGB. And I like this because it's cableless. On the front right here, this matches up and pushes in, and it actually helps control the RGB. So that's pretty dope, but it's white on one side, so it reflects and it shows very well on the outside of the case when you have it on. So yeah, that's pretty dope. And these filters are also magnetic. And here, there's multiple options that we can have if we ever decide to put radiators in the front. and do some custom water cooling, which we may do sometime in the future. But for right now, I'm just going to use a closed loop system. But this actually tray can pop out, and you can actually push it back further depending on the actual thickness of the radiators that you have. You can flip it around, and there's different orientations that you could be able to put with the fans. But yeah, this is actually so much that you get for $90 on this case. All right, so what's also great about this case is that you got the cable management, but you also have multiple options for hard drives. So here, you can put two 2.5-inch hard drives right here. Also on the panel down here, you have the option for putting two 2.5-inch hard drives here. This cage actually slides and shifts, so depending on how big your power supply is, you could definitely be able to slide this back and forth. And also depending on if you're using a radiator in the front, you could be able to slide this your hard drive cage back and forth. But on the back here, where our hot swappable plate for the hard drives are going to go, and so we're going to make sure we attach that. The cable management on here is awesome because it has these panels, and you don't have to be super neat. So you could take off these back panels. This right here is actually allows you to be able to attach like a Commander Pro or RGB hub or something like that. All right, and so we got our front panel cables. We also have we have Velcro strips and everything right here. And so what I want to do is I definitely want to go ahead and unscrew this so we could be able to slide our hard drive cage. But I want to be able to slide this over, and we'll figure out exactly where we want it to be. But we got custom PSU cables that we're going to be using. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get this build started. First thing that we need to do is the 3.1 Type-C cable. We need to put that on the actual front panel, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But one thing I didn't notice, I just took this off the actual fan tray on the side, and it looks like that washer just kind of fell apart, I want to say. So from a quality standpoint, I don't know if you can see that, but that's not good. It's just like I just unscrewed it, and then like the washer kind of fell apart. So I don't know about that. And yeah, that one fell apart too. So I don't know if that's gonna cause issues with vibration with the washer. Okay, so I ran into a snaggle. We can't use the 140mm fans that I have on the front of the case, and that is because I can't mount them without a radiator for those particular fans. So we are going to use the fans that came with the case. We're gonna put the 220mm fans on the front. And then I have some Arctic fans. I have some Arctic fans that I bought from Microsoft also a while back that we're gonna put down here at the bottom for the GPU. So that's one of the changes that we're making. All right, so we got the 220mm fans on the front end for the intake. These are the case fans that came with the case. Before I put in these fans, I'm gonna go ahead and take off. I think we need to get rid of all of these before we do our vertical GPU. So I'm gonna get rid of these now. And I'm wondering, is it gonna cause any issues? I may hold off on doing these fans until I may get the motherboard in first. Okay, so before we put the motherboard in, something I want to show you up top. This actually controls the RGB. So you have C for color, and you have M for mode. I think this is power button, reset button. You have your headphone, mic combo jack, USB 3.0, and this is the slot here for our USB 3.1 Type-C. And since we're talking about it, I'm gonna go ahead and install it. Here's the cable, and that's going to stick up through there. So there are two, and I'm going to just lower this here so you can see it. And it does come with instructions and a screw to mount it. But it comes with two screws that are right here, and it's on both sides. So we actually need to take these out so we could be able to take the panel out. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this before I put the motherboard in. So we actually gonna have to unscrew the board from the cover. We'll have to unscrew the board from the cover. And then we got to reinstall it and then lock it back. Okay. So these screws, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 screws on here. All these have to come off so this board could come off. And then we could be able to place this in and then screw it down. We could place this in, screw it down, and we'll be good to go. Looks like we might have an issue. So a 280 millimeter AIO is too much. Okay, I didn't see this one coming. All right. So what I could do is I could actually mount this like this, and I could mount this to the tray. I could take the two fans off the front here and put them on top for exhaust. Yep, that's what I'm gonna have to do. All right, so we got the light strip. Let's see if we can be able to put this on. Got the cable combs and everything on the individual sleeve cables. So that's 3M tape. And this is the diffuser, and that's the connector. So let's go ahead and feed that through. And this should stick just like that. So far so good. We got the fan screwed in at the bottom. We got the vertical mount for the GPU, and I'm about to get ready to plug that in. We still have to do the Hot-Swappable bay, which is right here. So that'll be the last thing that we do. And then once power everything up, make sure everything is working, then I'll finish doing the cable management. So let's get the GPU set up. Okay, look at that. It's pretty dope. And so that's where the drive's gonna plug into. And we got the power connectors. And that's where the hard drive is gonna go into. We got the LED light strip that's going across right here. It came with 3M tape. It's also magnetic. Just a couple of things about this build. As you can see, this is the RTX 2060 Super. We got the Kraken in. That's the Kraken X62. As you can see, I scratched it by mistake. We got the custom cable combs that we got in there. On the front, just a couple of things about this build. On the front, we put the extra radiator, but we had the fans pulling the hot air out the case. As you can see here, the RGB on the front, the controls right here. So you can change the color. So if I press this, that changes the color. And I can cycle through all the different colors, which is pretty dope. Then I can change the mode. This button here is for mode. So I press that, we got the rainbow effect. Got the red, and it changes. This one is pretty dope too. Or you can have it no RGB. And we're gonna put this back on color. I'm gonna change it back to green because that's the theme that we got going on. Yeah, we got the PCIe 4.0 drive back there. All of the fans that you see here, they came with the case. All these three, they're Lian 120 millimeter. And then we got the two fans. These are the Arctic fans. They're actually cooling off the GPU. This right here, we have the indicator light for the Seagate. I think it's the 2 terabyte drive that we have in here. These are the slots. Can't pull it out right now because the system is on. But the Corsair 850. One thing I can tell you, I had a hard time. As you can see, this is on the vertical GPU mount by Lian. So that's an accessory. The light strip is an accessory. I'm gonna go to the back plate. That's another accessory, which is the extra stuff that I purchased. And this is the USB-C that we install. The only problems I had with this case is that on top, this is the filter. And it has enough space and offsets. Has enough space and offsets in order to install. You could do either 220 millimeter fans or 240 millimeter fans. I thought that I could be able to put a 280 millimeter AIO, which is what I have up top, but it doesn't fit. So FYI, if you have a 280 millimeter AIO, it will not fit up top. And that's because it bumps up against the actual VRMs on the motherboard. And so it can't fit. So I have to put it on the front, which sucks. I can't tell you how much that sucks. So on the back, one of the things I was just want to show you is about my cable management sucks. But because we have these covers, it actually looks pretty good. And if we pull this down,
And as you can see, everything's kind of packed in. But one of the things I just want to show you is that the actual other accessory, which is the back plate. That's what it looks like for the actual hard drives to actual hot swappable plug into. But I love this. I love the panels. This case is pretty dope.